window. First, the Latin inscription that told visitors Catherine Nelson had died 4 years previously in 1767. Her husband, Edmund, heartbroken at the loss, had added another inscription in English. "Let these alone. Let no man move these bones." The boy's stammered words echoed off the bare stone walls.
"I hope and pray, Mamma, that God will look kindly on me, and that I may make you as proud of me as you were of all Albion's heroes, and that if I give my life for my country, let it be in circumstances that would meet with your approval. I ask your blessing, and that you will, from your celestial abode, guide me and keep me true."
The solid image of his father replaced the idealized one of his dead mother. Tall, beetle-browed and unsmiling, even when absent from his parish, as he was now, the Reverend Edmund Nelson was a potent force in his son's life. Stern and unbending, trusting in his Maker, the rector of Burnham Thorpe had a fixed notion of his place in society. When he was not castigating sin and sloth, or railing against ecclesiastical neglect of his churches, he would talk of the family lineage, so that his children's antecedents, of whom they should and could be proud, were indelibly imprinted in their minds. Horatio knew he had to live up to them too. On his mother's side, the Sheltons, granted the right to arms in the 7th century after the siege of Adrianople, Bullens, who had resided at Hever Castle and the manor of Blickling, playing host to Henry VIII and his Boleyn bride, Woodhouses, Jermyns, Townsends graced the family tree. Sir John Suckling, his coat of arms a scallop shell and a sprig of honeysuckle, who had ridden north to greet the successor of good Queen Bess, his reward, the office of Secretary of State to the newly crowned King James I. The Walpoles claimed pride of place. First, Captain Gadifrus, who had lost an arm in battle at Vado Bay, and had ended his days treasurer of the Greenwich Hospital. And then his puissant brother, Sir Robert Walpole, 1st Earl of Orford, who had dominated the nation for 3 decades. Uncle Maurice, a still living and breathing naval hero, would now become his captain and mentor. The burden of all that history seemed to bear down on the boy, an almost physical presence, pushing his knees into the hard flagstone floor.
"Horace!"
The shout, echoing off the church wall, startled him, and he leapt to his feet. Susanna, his sister, emerged from behind a thick, round pillar, her pretty oval face under a linen mob-cap, half worried, half angry. When she saw where he stood, her expression softened, and the words of admonishment she had been about to deliver were spoken kindly.
"Dawdle, and you'll miss the King's Lynn coach." "I came to say farewell to Mamma," he replied, with just a hint of defiance.
Susanna came up the aisle and stood beside him. She put her arm round his shoulders and gave him a gentle shake.
"To her bones, her spirit is with us always, wherever we go."
Her fingers tugged first at his stock, then she brushed back his fair hair, at which he recoiled.
"I cannot quite believe that you're going away, Horace. My little brother, just 12, yet a sailor in the King's Navy, and I dare say all set to be a hero." "I will miss you, sister."
She shook him again affectionately. He couldn't help acting like a man, any more than Susanna, 3 years older, could help seeing him as a boy. She took his arm and allowed him to lead her out into the grey morning, chattering as they descended the slope through the still bare trees. Arms linked, they crossed the field that was a shortcut between the yellow brick L-shaped parsonage, which looked so drab in the winter light, and the equally uninspiring stone of the square-towered rectangular church. Around them, the North Norfolk landscape, gentle slopes criss-crossed with dense hedgerows, was silent, but for the odd, mournful cry of a distant rook. The whole family was gathered to say their farewells, sallow-faced, brown-eyed and silent. William, 1 year older, his 3 young